Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Cosmopolitan Allure channel. My name is Kia and I'm happy to be sharing some makeup tips with you. Today I am going to share this makeup look that I have on my face right at this moment. I am going to be going to a concert later on today, so if you're interested in how I got this look, please keep on watching. So first I'm going to start with the Fresh Sugar Lip Polish. And I have used this for a while now, and I actually really like it. Yeah, a Q-tip here. Get a Q-tip, and I'm just going to go in and put the blob on, move it around so you can feel the crystals. I don't know if you can actually see the little sugar crystals. And I'm just going to leave this on. Now, next point of reference is going to be primer. So I tried earlier the new Danessa Myricks 10 out of 10 Barrier Boost here. Got up this morning, washed my face, and put this on. So it's probably been about 3 hours since I did that, and I actually really like it. I didn't see like an immediate difference on my skin visibly, but what I will say is I do feel a difference in how my skin feels. It feels very nice on the skin, very cooling, and it's a very nice feeling. So this is something that is supposed to hydrate and give plumping to the skin. It has hyaluronic acid and ecdwin in it, so those are ingredients that help with the skin barrier, protecting the skin barrier, plumping the skin to make it look more full and hydrated and juicy. And so over time, this will visibly improve your skin. So for the primer today, I got a new primer from Kofi, and it's called the Double Life Serum Primer. And this is supposed to smooth your skin. So that was primarily the reason I wanted to get this primer, is because I want to fill in. So I do, as I get older, I'm starting to have some texture on my skin and things of that nature. So, and some pores that I didn't have before. So I do want to try and see if this actually is a smoothing primer that will go in and do what it says it's gonna do. So this is what it looks like. So it's got a bit of a color, pretty much a skin-ish color. And I'm just going to go in and rub this everywhere. Okay, so it is 12:10 in the afternoon right now. So I am going to give this about 5 minutes to set into my skin before I put anything on it. I don't put anything on my skin immediately after I put on primer, just because I want the primer to have a chance to soak into my skin and do what it needs to do. So while that is doing its job, I am going to do my eyebrows. And as you guys know, I don't do that much to my eyebrows. I'm literally just going to go in with my tried and true 24-hour brow setter from Benefit. Ooh. And just go in and do my brows. So it's a clear gel. I'm just going to go in. Why does it feel like it's nothing on that side? And this is a brand new bottle. So just going to brush my eyebrows up. Go back in there so I can get some product on them. And then I'm literally just going to go in and shape them the way that I want them to be shaped. And that's it. So that's literally all I do for my brows. Sometimes I will go in and fill in my brows, but today I am going to a concert. I am going to see the Korean group BTS in concert at the movies. No, I am not in Korea or any other country where they are physically touring right now. Do they look a little uneven? They do, just a little bit. So let me swoosh down this side a little bit. They're still uneven, but they're gonna work today. So I'm going to let that sit. And our movie theaters here in the US are showing their concert live in the movie theater. So I just paid for a ticket to see the concert live in the movie theater. So that is what I'm going to do. Realistically, there's no reason for me to be putting on makeup because I'm about to sit in a dark theater for 3 hours. But I wanted to look pretty. I wanted to put on some makeup, and that's what I wanted to do. I had bought all of these things during the Sephora event, and I wanted to try them. So I'm going out in the public eye for 10 minutes because the movie theater is realistically like less than 10 minutes from me. But I wanted to play makeup, so here we are. So yeah. I'm kind of excited and not at the same time. After their last album, Arirang, dropped maybe like 2 weeks ago. The album was not what I was expecting. And so while I do think the album is a good album, it's just not the album that I personally was expecting from them. So it's not a song, it's not an album that I've been listening to on repeat. And so me going to this concert is really more so I can hear some of their old music, and the fact that I actually have an opportunity to see them in concert in the comfort of a movie theater instead of the actual venue itself is very comforting to me. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of their older content. I do like a few of their new songs, but I like more of their songs in Korean than I do the songs in English. Is nothing wrong with either or. It's just that my preference is to hear them singing in Korean. So yeah. So I am excited about that. So let's see, has it been 5 minutes yet? I have 1 more minute left. So what I will do in the midst of talking about that, I will start talking about the next product that I'm going to use. So I've got 3 concealers during the sale. Like I said, these things have been in my basket for a while. So I got the new Patrick Ta concealer. What is this called? The Major Skin. Oh, is this upside down? Ooh, glare. Okay, there we go. There we go. The Major Skin Soft Blur Brightening Concealer. Just for the record, y'all, I'm not going to be saying all these long names. I'm just going to say the Patrick Ta concealer that just came out, and there'll be links to all of these items. I don't have any affiliation links or anything like that. I don't think that I'm going to add any of that to my channel, just because for me, I enjoy makeup because I enjoy makeup, and this is more so a channel to show you how to apply makeup in a fashion, on how I apply makeup. So if you are new to makeup and you just want a guide on how somebody else does it, or to serve as a shade reference if you're someone that's close to my complexion, more so of that nature. But I'm not here to get your coins and profit off of the selections that you make. That's just not my lane. And there's nothing wrong with influencers who do that, but that's just not my lane that I wish to be in. So I got the color Medium Neutral 2. So I'm going to try that on this eye here, and we'll see how that looks. I've seen a lot of reviews on it and people seem to like it. So we'll see, as I am destroying my desk down here. And please excuse Midori, who now wants to holler in the background and apparently be a part of this video today. The next one I got is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Blur Concealer. So this is what that looks like. And so a lot of people seem to really like this concealer as well. This is a thicker consistency. I don't think I've had a Charlotte Tilbury complexion product ever. It just really hasn't appealed to me that much. I had her powder for a while, but I never used it consistently. And then I have her eyeshadow palettes, which we'll see a little bit later in the video. So yeah, so I'm very curious about this. This is a thicker concealer, so I will put that on this eye over here. And then I also got the Milk Hydro Grip Concealer. So this is a cream concealer, and I got the color 7. Ooh. Yes, I got the color 7. And so I primarily wanted to try this because I was curious about what the consistency would look like on my skin, but also for travel. Midori, stop. I was actually thinking about this for putting in my travel kit when I travel, so I don't have to rearrange and take things out of my bag. So this will probably end up being just a travel concealer for me, not something I use on a regular basis, but I still wanted to see it. So actually, let me swipe all of these. So I'm gonna start with the Hydro Grip. So that's what it looks like right there. And what I'll do is I'm going to use that to spot conceal all these dark areas down here. Oh, well, use this sparingly. So I just turned this up and you cannot turn it down. So only roll this up for the product that you need, because once it's up, you can't turn it back down. So I'm glad I only turned up a little bit, but does it go? Okay. And thankfully there's some space. I don't know if you can see that, but there is some space in between the bullet and the top, so you do have a little bit of grace in between the top and the bottom if you do roll up more than you want. And then the color I got in Charlotte Tilbury is 8 medium, so I'm just going to swipe that there. And so that's the color for this one. And I will blend them out after I swipe everything. I'm just trying to make sure that I have good, enough space for everything. And then last but not least is the Patrick Ta. So this is the Patrick Ta. Oh, they're almost the same. A little bit. This one looks a little bit more, this looks a little bit more peachy to me than it does neutral. This actually looks quite yellow, maybe neutral. And then this one looks a little bit warm. So these two look a little bit more warm, and then this one looks a little bit more neutral yellow to me. So, and me personally, so I'm gonna just start, let me start from the top. I'm gonna use my pinky to try to blend these out a little bit, see what the consistency looks like. Oh, I actually quite like that. Blends out well. It looks a little ashy on my hand, but we'll see. It's good. So I underpaint when I do my makeup, so usually my concealer will go on first and then I'll put my foundation on top of it. So yeah. Then I'm just going to take my ring finger and go in and blend out the Charlotte too. Oh, that's very thick. Look at my finger. So this is what I use for the Milk, and then this is what I use for the Charlotte Tilbury. Okay, so that's thick. You're going to get some coverage with that. Will I like that up under my eye? We'll see. And then last but not least is the Patrick Ta. So this one is thinner. It looks really peach on my hand. This does not look neutral to me, but I'm okay with that. I actually want to have a a concealer that looks a little peachy so it can do some color corrections, because I'm starting to get dark circles up under my eyes, and I don't know how I feel about that. But anyway, and this is what that looks like on my finger. So you can tell the difference in consistency here. This is real thin here. This is thick, and then you can see the Patrick Ta is a little bit is thinner. But they all moved around very well. No problem in blending. But I see now I'm gonna have to be careful with the Charlotte Tilbury one. A little bit goes a long way. So I forgot I had stuff on my finger, so now I have it all on my hands. So hold please while I clean my hands. How do I not have makeup remover wipes ready? And I just picked up some Cetaphil wipes. That's what I use. So don't know where my makeup removal wipes are, so let's see how much this is going to get off. Okay, just a couple of swipes. I feel like I can still see the Charlotte Tilbury a little bit, so I'm gonna start with the Patrick Ta. I think I said I was going to put it on this side. So I don't use a lot of concealer, so I'm gonna use more concealer today than what I would usually use, just because I really want to see these in action. I'm going to let them sit, just because I want to get the maximum coverage that I can get. And then this is, so this is what the doe foot looks like with the Patrick Ta concealer. So regular doe foot. There is a slight angle on the doe foot, so it'll fit right up under there. I might have some brightening concealer. I don't usually get my concealer this light. And then for the Charlotte Tilbury, this is what the doe foot looks like. So it's quite a big doe foot, I feel like. I am just literally going to dab this one, because you saw that swipe that I did on my hand, and it was a lot. So that's what I'm gonna do for that. And then for the Milk Hydro Grip concealer, I am just going to go ahead and swipe that on. Hopefully that wasn't too much, but we'll see. All of these look really light. I'm just gonna use my finger for the Hydro Grip, just to see what kind of coverage I get for this. So I have quite a bit of hyperpigmentation. So this really doesn't cover that much at all. So there's pretty much no coverage, and it does look a little bit ashy on me, that color. So let me try to build right here where I know I have quite a bit of hyperpigmentation. So I probably could have went up. I don't know if they have a 7.5 or 8, but I probably should go up. This will probably be decent in the winter. It covers a little bit, a tiny bit, but this would not be one that I want to wear up under. If I use this for spot concealing, I need a darker color, so I need to go up. Up under my eyes, I think I could get away with it with some powder. But here, no. A part of me wants to wipe this off and put something else down there, but then I have to apply the primer all over, and I'm not doing all that. So we'll make the best of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this A506 Hot and Flashy, Angie Hot and Flashy brush from BK Beauty. My cat is having a whole temper tantrum right now because I'm ignoring her. Anywho, I'm just gonna go in and press this in. It does look like you get quite a bit of coverage with this concealer. Now under my eye, this doesn't look as peach as it did on my hand. I know it does. In different lighting, it looks different. So I have a mirror down here, and on the mirror it looks much more peachy, but on camera I don't feel like it looks as peachy as it's looking. So I'm just going to press that in. I'm going to bring the excess up here, up under my brow and over my eye, because I don't want to waste any of this. And then just press it into the skin until it disappears. Now, since the primer has had time to set down, I don't really feel a difference on my skin. I can definitely tell there's a veil on top of it, but I don't feel where it's smoother per se, but we'll see. I feel like this is settling in my fine line right here, but that could also be because I did not pat out the primer, and I did see where it settled into a fine line over here. So I'm using that same wipe that I used to wipe off the same wipe that I was using to wipe off the concealer before, because it's moist. So I'm just wiping that off. And then I just pulled out a dry napkin, and I'm just going to wipe the brush down so it'll be clean. And so this Charlotte Tilbury has had a good amount of time to sit. So let me go in and press this in. So even with those 3 little dots, I probably should have only done 2. There's definitely, okay, let me wipe some of this off because this is too much. This is too much. So the coverage is very full on the Charlotte Tilbury. Let me put some up under my eyebrow up here to try to use up some of this. Let me put some on top of the eye too. And so I'm just using the brush to press it into the skin. So right off the bat, I feel like I look very raccoonish right now. This texture is definitely much thicker, and it's very creamy, so it's easy to maneuver. This sat under my eye for a good minute or 2. Now on camera, the lights are making this look a lot more harsh than it really looks in real life. I have another mirror down here that I'm looking at, And I can see on this side, and you can tell the difference in color in here. This looks, I feel like, a bit more natural. It's not as harsh. On this side, it's very, very apparent, the difference here. It looks a little bit almost olivey on camera, but down here, it doesn't look that way. So this is definitely something where I'll have to take a picture after so you can see what it looks like without all the harsh lighting. And excuse my stained finger. I was eating some fiery Cheetos earlier and now my fingers are stained. But so I'm just wiping off this again, and I'm just gonna go in on this side and press this in. I keep seeing little flakes here on this side under the Patrick tie. I don't know if that's the primer that's making it do that or what, but I don't know how I feel about that. And it keeps happening right in this same spot. So when I first applied it earlier, I don't know if you saw I was like using my nail to move it, because, and there's another one. Where did this come from? Where are these forming from? It's like every time I close my eye, a new little piece forms. Are they falling like out of my crease? So I'm gonna come up real close. You can see all of this going into my fine lines right here. You can see it up under my eye right there. And stuff like that essentially doesn't bother me because there's nothing I can do about my fine lines. That's just the reality of getting older, is that the way makeup lays on your skin is going to be different. So I'm accepting that semi-gracefully. But I have like a little dry patch right here. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know what's, wait a minute. And then when I dig my nail in it, you can see the nail prints into it right there. So this looks like it takes a little bit of time to dry down. Like it's not an immediate dry down, which is okay because I'm gonna go on and do other parts of my face. But this looks like it's making little dry patches on this side of my skin. Like this right here just appeared. I don't feel like this was there a few seconds ago. So I don't know what that's about. That's definitely something with the Patrick tie. I'll have to do another video in the future using it with a different primer to see if it's the primer that's causing that reaction or if that's just how this concealer is going to work on my skin. Because the reality of it is not every product works on everybody's skin, and that's okay. Like, I don't have an issue with that at all. So in the midst of talking about everything that's going on the Patrick tie side, back on the Charlotte Tilbury side, I'm not seeing any of those same situations. Like I said, I can see it settling into my crease right here, but that's just something that happens now with all of my concealers. But over here on this side, I don't see like those dry patches or anything that I was seeing on the Patrick tie side. So there you go. All right, so now we've done all three of the concealers. These color matches are stressing me on camera, but in person, without all the direct light, it actually looks pretty good. I can still see the ashiness of this one down here, but I'm not per se as bothered because I'm going to cover it up with foundation, so that's okay. All right. So with foundation today, I got several during the sale. So I got the Rare Beauty foundation. So this has been all the rage that people are talking about right now. I got the color 29. And let me see. And I do like this lock mechanism on the back, so you can move it. Sorry, I have text messages coming in, but you can lock the pump. So when you try to press the top down, wait a minute. I guess I still had some in the pump, but so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and just test that. But well, that's something to be aware of. I don't know if anybody has noticed that, but if you have any left in the pump, it's going to come out. Is mine broke? Should this much still be coming out? and then unlock the whole pump goes down. I'm not going to do that because I have so much on my hand right now. But yeah, so I'm just going to take my finger and rub this in. I have way too much because I had like 4 pumps on my hand, but that's what the color looks like. And so I'll let that dry down. It's supposed to be a semi-matte format. It's supposed to be a matte leaning foundation, so not a full matte, but a semi-matte, so like a skin-like finish. The color match, it'll blend in. It'll do. I'm not looking for like a spot on exact match, to be honest. Those are hard to find, but for me, I'd rather go with a darker foundation than with a lighter foundation, because I'd rather look a little bit darker than look casket ready. And then the other foundation I got is the La Skin by MPH or Mary Phillips. This is her foundation for her brand, and it is the Weightless Serum Foundation. I got the color 210. So honestly, 210-0. So I feel like I could have went a little bit lighter than this. I actually went in the store and tested these on my hand and couldn't remember what color I tested on my hand. So I just ordered this one online. I want to say that this is the same one I tested in the store, because I remember putting it in my basket after I left. So you can see the consistency, like it is running a little bit. So not running, but it is moving. And you can see the difference between the 2 colors here. So I'm gonna just take my finger and rub it. So this one is much more water-like. It has much more movement, and it's much thinner than the Rare Beauty one. So I might do this one today. And so a reason I like to put things on my hand to test it is so I can get an idea of how the product moves. Does it dry down fast? Does it take a while to dry down? If it does, I'll definitely need to put powder on it. Those types of situations. So that's what I got here. And then I also got the Fashion Fair Stick or Cream Foundation in Caramel Fresh. So like I said earlier, the same with the Milk Cosmetics Foundation, the Milk Hydro Grip Concealer. I am thinking about traveling and what that looks like, and how I just want to be able to put items in my travel bag that I do not have to take out because it's a liquid or store it separately or anything like that. I want what's in my makeup bag to stay in my makeup bag, and I go on about my business. I don't have to worry about taking it out. So this is what the color looks like. So I'm just going to swipe that on my hand. So that looks warm, which in my mind, if I think about caramel, caramel looks warm. Looks like a warm tan or caramel brown. So this is what that looks like. So there's a very stark difference. There's a very stark difference in all 3 of these. So this looks much, much warmer. It almost looks peach-like, somewhat. You can definitely see the olive in this one, and I think that's if I'm looking like down here, these 2, Vanity Fair and the Mary Phillips, I think are really good matches if I'm looking at my skin down here. This one I think is going to be a little bit lighter, but again, powders make a world of difference. And so this one, so let me just swipe and see. Ooh. So this is a very, very thin formula. Very thin. For it to be a cream, so that's what it looks like on my hand. So it's very thin, so very lightweight. So I think I would enjoy that for traveling, because it's going to be more of, I don't know what the coverage is going to be like on that one. So that's something I think I'm going to try in a separate video, just because I'm very curious about how much coverage this will have, but what I will say is I think I would like that for travel, because if I'm going to be out traveling, I'm going to be doing a lot of walking, and so I'm not going to want anything on my skin that's going to feel heavy. I'm going to want it to be flexible, and if it wears off over time, that's fine, but I actually really like that. And after I blended it out on my hand up here, you really can't see it too much. I see a little bit right here, but I actually quite like that. Okay. And that's something I've had in my basket for literal months. And I was like, oh, I don't need this. I'm not going to get it. And so I was like, I'll just get it when the sale comes on. So I'm excited about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one side of my face with the Mary Phillips and one side with the Rare Beauty. Let me look in the mirror here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Rare Beauty on the side with the Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm going to do the Mary Phillips on the side with Patrick Ta, just because of their consistency. So since this one is a little bit more creamy and thicker in formula, I'm going to put that on the side where the concealer for Charlotte Tilbury was thicker, and then since this one is a thinner, more liquidy formula, or liquid-like formula, I'm going to put it on the side with the Patrick Ta. So I'm actually going to leave the lock on and just squirt a little dot that comes out. I might actually like that better, because that allows me to control how much product is coming out. Like, a lot is not coming out. So I got these little pumps here. So I am going to take my, what did I do with it? It was just right here because I just washed it. Oh, it's blending over. So I'm going to take my Nikki LaRose N17 brush from BK Beauty and pick up on the white side what's on my hand. And okay, I said I was going to put that on this side. And I'm just going to press it into the skin. So for me, I always start in my cheek area and then go down, because that's where I need the most coverage. Let me unlock this and put a good amount down. And so I added that much more, and I'm just using it to, on my hand, to press it into the brush, because I don't want a super full layer of foundation. I just want a very thin layer, since I already know that this is a full coverage. And when I put on my foundation, I go up a little bit over where I applied the concealer, so there's not a big thick line of demarcation of where the concealer starts and where the foundation starts. I think I just pushed too much. So I took another little pump and brought that out. And I'm just pressing it into the forehead here. And then I'm just gonna go down the side of my nose here. I'm not sure how I feel about that primer, because I don't feel like my texture changed at all with that primer. And I put a good amount on there. Maybe I put too much. But so what I will say is this does dry down pretty quickly on my hand. So I definitely feel like this is a foundation that you have to work with in parts on your face, so not just putting dots around your face and then working that way. You definitely need to pick a section and work and smooth out that section. Okay, so that's what the foundation looks like on the skin with a very, very, very thin layer. I think it has pretty good coverage because this is my area where I have discoloration and I can see it coming through, but like I said, I put a very, very extremely thin layer on the skin. So I'm gonna go on top of it and build it up just because I want to see. So, ooh, so this is what a full pump of it looks like. So you get a lot of product. So let me just, okay. Let me wipe off my brush and press this in quickly. And so I am pressing this in, tapping motions. I am not swiping, but I think I might have to for this. So it definitely builds up, most definitely. And you can definitely achieve full coverage. So you see this area where I had the dark spots shining through, it definitely went in and covered those up. So I'm going on top and I am now using brush strokes to smooth this in. Nope, I wouldn't advise that because you can actually see the brush marks right there. So let me go back and pat it in. So this is a foundation I would actually have to get used to using. I don't know when I've had such a full coverage foundation, to be honest. I might want to go over this with a sponge, to be honest, to make sure that the lines are. So I'm gonna pull out this one size sponge and just go over this and press this in and get rid of any excess product and get rid of any lines. Okay, I feel better about that. And I really go in like when I put in concealer around my nose just to make sure if it's anything, any extra, that this will get it up. It will pick it up. So if we look at my neck, you can definitely see the coverage here versus well, just the concealer here and a little pink that I have going on here, and then what it looks like. And you can also see the difference in color on this side and this side. So I think it's actually a good thing that I'm going to be sitting in a movie theater, since half of my face is going to be one shade and the other side is going to be different. Looking in the mirror down here, I actually really like the way that it looks. I don't feel like my texture stands out any more than it already does on its own. I do feel like I look pretty natural, and I don't really see that big of a line of demarcation in a color difference between my neck and going down here. So I have a birthmark right here, so that's going to be discoloration anyway, but on this side I see a little bit right there, but I don't feel like it's big enough for it to be a whole situation. And then not much came on the sponge, so here. So it didn't really pick up a lot. So even though it seemed like it was a lot on there, putting the sponge on there, I guess I had pushed it in pretty well with the brush. So on this side, like I said, I'm going to do the Mary Phillips. I am going to shake it. Does it say on the back to shake? How do you shake well before you... Oh, were there instructions on the Rare Beauty one? There were no instructions. I might should have shaken this up before I used it, but it's too late now. But since this is a watery foundation, most of the time when you have more liquid or water like foundations, they will tell you to shake it up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just gonna pull out a clean, another Nikki LaRose brush. This looks dirty. I'm upset. Is there anything on this? Oh no, it's just stained. Okay. So I am going to do the same thing. I am just going to push this on the back of my hand. It is a pump. And ooh, you see how fast that's moving? Okay. So I'm just going to pick this up. And like I said, start right here in the center. And press it in. And like I said, I usually go over a little bit of the line under my concealer so it can blend in. This has a very interesting smell. I couldn't smell it when I put it on my hand, but when I started pressing this into my face with the brush, I could smell it. So this foundation is not, it's not a fragrance, but it does have a smell. So just be aware of that. But the smell is not lingering. It's going away. So So when I'm looking at the color match for this one, you can obviously see a difference in going down the center of my forehead right here. What I will say is I like the way this one presses into my skin better. But I'm very curious to see how these will, what these foundations will look like later in the day. And if I remember after I come to the concert, because the concert starts at 4, it is currently 1:01 when I'm putting these on. So probably by the time I finish, it'll be about 2 o'clock. I'm very curious what these will look like after they've dried down on my face. Now, what I will say is for this to be such a watery format, I feel like it covered up the hyperpigmentation very, very, very well. I was really expecting not to have hardly any coverage with this, but it does seem like it gives pretty good coverage. Now, what I will say is I'm noticing like right here where I have texture, it looks like it's clinging to my little, I had a little scab right here, so it looks like it's clinging to that scab a little bit, but I'm fine with that because nobody's going to be examining my face as closely as I am at this particular moment in time. But I feel like this was much easier to apply and go on with. But I will say I am more comfortable with foundations of this same viscosity. So I immediately felt comfortable in applying this makeup more so than this one, because like I said, I don't really use full or matte foundations that often. So in looking at my skin, if I get up real close, you can see there's some luminosity here. And then on this side, that luminosity is not there. And I can see like this side drying down. But there is, it's not matte, if that makes sense. There is some glow to the skin. It's not super matte. But you can definitely see the luminosity versus the luminosity on this side. So, checking back in with the concealer. So, whoop. So this is still not dry. Like the Patrick Ta side is still not dry. When I just used the back of the brush to pull it down, I still see it. Now that could be some of the, no, I didn't bring the foundation up that high. So that is still wet. It hasn't dried yet. Let me go on the Charlotte Tilbury side. And you can see, like I said, it's settling in my fine line, which is fine. Like I literally have to pull my eye down to do that. So I went up higher with the foundation on this side than I did on that side. But let me just go over here. So nothing came off. Wait a minute. I might have lied. Hold on. Let me go back. Just a little bit came off on the brush at the tip. Midori. Nobody wants to not have your commentary. Thank you, ma'am. So yeah, definitely much more comes off on the Patrick Ta side than on the Charlotte Tilbury side. But anywho, and so looking at the color match to my neck right here, I can definitely see a difference of the color here than on my neck on this side. On this side, it doesn't look as apparent moving from my neck from my face to my neck. But I feel like I can definitely see the olive on my face versus what's on my neck. So that's something to also be mindful of. So for powder, I got the Huda Beauty Easy Baked Pressed Powders, and I got Pound Cake and I got Peach Cupcake. So this is what Pound Cake looks like. So on the screen it looks very yellow, but in my hand it doesn't look that yellow to me. It looks more white. So I'm just going whoop. Okay, let's do that. That's what it looks like. It looks like a light tan in the pan, not yellow. And then this is Peach Cupcake. So let me turn it to the side like that. So this one looks, why do they look like this on camera? Let me hold them up like this. Okay, let's go back like that. Okay, so you can see this one is more peachy on this side, and you can see this one is more white looking. Yeah. So let me swipe peach. And so peach is gonna go right here. Peach Cupcake. Why do they look identical? Let me get close. Okay, you can see the difference at this angle. Ooh. So you can see that this one is a little bit more pink, peach colored, and then this one is a little bit more white. But there's really, realistically, there's really not that big of a distinction between the two if I'm looking at them up close. So you don't need both. You don't need both. So I am going to put one of each up under each eye. Let me get a little puff. And I'm gonna go in and try to smooth out that crease right there. Okay. All right. And I'm going to, since this side is more olivey, I'm gonna go with this side over here. Let me wipe off this foundation because I feel like I'm going to get it all over myself. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna take this little puff that I got off of Amazon somewhere, and I'm just going to rub into pound cake. I'm going to tap off the excess over here, and I'm going to look up and I'm going to press. Ooh. Did y'all see that? That looks so fantastic. I probably should have stopped while I was ahead, but very, very interesting. I think this color is a little bit too light for me personally. But when I say I really like the way my under eye looks, let me just go ahead and yeah, I actually really like this, but I think this is I don't start your watering today. We're not having that. We're not doing that today. I think this powder is a little bit too light for my personal preferences, but the way it makes my eye look, I really like that. All right. So let me wipe off this puff because I don't want to try another method. I'm not going to tell a tale to you guys. I like the way this puff put it on my face, so I'm just gonna wipe off this puff. As you can see, it's in the process of dying right now because the little sponge is spilling out, but I like it. So I'm going in with the, what is this, peach cupcake one. I'm dabbing off the excess. Wait, I didn't press it in this side. Hold on, I got too excited. And I wiped off the brush, so I'm literally just pressing in, trying to get anything that's in my crease out. Okay, so that's gone. All right, let me look up. Midori, why are you trying to make a cameo? Yeah, I definitely like this side better. So on the hand, they're not really discernible, but I feel like you can definitely see a difference in the color once you put it on top of your concealer. Yeah, I like that. I don't know why my nose just started to run all of a sudden, but I like that quite a bit. So this would definitely be a brightening color. So I will say for me, if I get a foundation or a concealer that is too dark or I want to brighten it up, but I'm not the type of person who goes out and buys a million concealers because I need to have a light concealer in the front and a color in the back. I'm not doing all that. So I'd rather have a powder that I can put on top of a concealer to brighten it up than to wear 2 concealers. Like that's just a personal preference for me. Like, I love doing my makeup, but I'm also a very efficient and functional person in that sense. So I'm really not going to try to make my makeup routine overly complicated. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go in. Now, one thing I do want to be careful about is because this is a matte lean-in foundation on this side of my face with the Rare Beauty, is not to put so much powder on there because I don't want to dry out my skin. But what I'm noticing as I'm aging, when I was younger, my skin was very, very, very dry. And the older I get, the more oils that I produce on my skin. So I'm not so much dry anymore. I'm more a combination now. So I feel like I'm really shiny right in there. So I do try to be mindful about that. And so I'm more willing to try more matte leaning foundations or skin light finishes, just so my skin, once the oils start to break through on my skin, it doesn't look like I have an oil slick on my face. So I quite like that. Quite like that a lot. So peach cupcake on this side and pound, what is this? Pound cake on this side. So there definitely is a difference. I definitely, when I'm looking up here in the light, this definitely seems much lighter on this side than this side does, or much brighter around the areas that I applied it than this side does. So do I have an all over face powder? I do not. So I have one in my basket that I think I'm going to get during the Sephora sale, which is the Sephora brand. It's the Micro Smooth powder. I think I'm going to get that because I want a color that's closer to my skin complexion. Everything I have is like translucent. Well, yeah, why is every single powder that I have translucent? I did have a darker one from I have this one from Fenty Beauty, but I got the new one that was reformulated, and I did not like how my makeup turned out that day, so I haven't used it again. I'm probably not going to use it again. But who is this? Okay, this is the Danessa Myricks powder. Maybe I'll try this one today. The only issue is that some of these powders, when I put them on, they darken up my complexion, and I'm not trying to darken up my complexion. I just want to even out my complexion now. That's a little bit too dark. I need to be out in the sun to use that one a little bit more. So I'm gonna go with my mini, what's this? I'm gonna go with my Kimchi Chic Puff Puff Pass mini, and I got the color Banana. Is this really matcha? Yeah, it says banana, but this is what it looks like. So it's not white, but so I'm gonna take my N15 Nikki LaRose and BK Beauty collaboration brush, and I'm just gonna take what was in the top swirl it around on my hand, and just go in on top and set. And I've really struggled to find a powder that I would say for me doesn't darken up my complexion and putting it on. Like, translucent, yes, it works, but there are times when I want a little bit of color, but not like that much color. I don't want it to darken up. And I used to really like the About Face powder. That worked really well, but all of a sudden when I started wearing it, it just looked like it was caking up on top of everything. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if it's just my skin is having a moment. Now I will say, as of late, my skin has been dry, like dehydrated. So it's back on the drier side right now, and that could be why, because my skin hadn't been dry in a long time. So yes, I'm just taking a brush and going over everywhere where I put foundation on. And yep, so this is what we look like. Now, what I will say is I really do like this Kimchi Chic powder. It doesn't darken up my complexion at all. It really goes on translucent. So I am going to take my Divine Water from M Cosmetics and go in and spray my face to melt down these powders. Do you need this much spray? Absolutely not. So but like I said, I want these powders to melt into my face. So I'm just going to take this sponge that I used earlier and just press all of this in. And like I said, I really do try to get into my crevices around my nose, because I feel like for me, this is going to be the first place where makeup starts to look bad on me, is right around my nose area. All right. I feel like my complexion looks much better. Like the life is back in, because I was looking a little powdery before we did that. All right, yay. So now I am going to do some bronzer. So I got the new Westman Atelier Sun Tone Bronzing Cream. I got Soleil Parfait 3. So what I will say, I have fingerprints on it. M. Dory, no ma'am, no ma'am. I really like this packaging. I am not a person that cares a lot about packaging in general. I just need it to be functional. I don't want to work hard to try to get your product out. I need to be able to pick up something and go if I need to go. And so this is what it looks like on the inside. So you have a lighter color and then you have a deeper color. And that was one of the reasons that I wanted to get this, specifically because there were two colors in the compact. I think this retails for $75. So essentially, what is that? $37.50 for each one of these colors, which to me is not bad, because your typical bronzer, one color by itself is going to run you between like $28 and $36, depending on what brand you buy from. So if I'm looking at this packaging, the ease of use, the fact that there are two different colors here, and that there is a stark difference between the colors, you're not getting colors that are so close in the package that it's no point in buying it. There is a stark difference between the two. So On the website, if I remember correctly, this says one is supposed to catch the light as if it's bronzing, and then if you want it to have a contour or a deeper look, they do have the deeper color for you. The good thing about it also is that there is another set. There is a number 4 after this, so if you do have a deeper complexion, there is one that can market to you. However, that palette does not go super deep, so there is a cutoff, which is one thing I don't like about it, is that they don't have palettes to serve the truly deeper skin complexion. So there is a toss-up for it, but I do like this case. I do like the fact that it's small. It can fit into the palm of my very tiny hands. It's not going to take up space, and I get to have the option of whether I want a dramatic bronzer or just, excuse me, a dramatic contour or a light bronze. So I really actually enjoy that marketing, and I think that was done very well. So so this is my first time trying the product since I got it this week, and it is a cream to powder finish. That's another reason why I wanted to get it, was because I wanted to explore what the cream to powder actually looked like. So I'm going to take the BK Beauty 109 brush, and I'm going to go into the lighter one here and pick it up. Well, let me swipe this on my hand first. Ooh, it really is creamy. Okay. So this is the lighter color, and it blends out pretty well, almost into nothingness. So that's good. The ease of use is there. And then this is the deeper color. Ooh. Yep. So you can tip. So how about this? Midori, ma'am. So that's a swipe of the lighter color and then a swipe of the darker color. So you can tell the difference between the two, which I actually really like. That there is a visible difference between the two. So I had already dipped into the lighter one, and I'm just going, ow, 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 cut, cut. So I'm going to start right here at my tracheus. I don't know if you can actually see that. Midori, no, I'm trying to film. And I'm just going to go, ooh, that went down much lower than what I was looking for. I'm going to go right there from my tracheus to where my eye starts, right there. I'm actually pretty shocked. That is very visible. It's a little bit deeper than what I was expecting. So let me go in and pat, pat, pat. Which I'm actually quite excited about, that the visibility is there. Okay. Let me go into my hairline. I was going to say I was going to do the darker color, but that's dark enough for me. So this might be something that I can underpaint with, because usually I underpaint my bronzers for the most part. I usually don't apply them on top of my skin like this, but since this was a cream to powder formulation, I wanted to try it on top of the skin so I could actually see it. Does this make me look a little dirty? This is giving me more contour. I did go into the right color, right? So this is the color that I put, and I feel like when I put it on there, it's much more chocolatey. And this brush was clean. Like, I washed it before I started filming today. So I'm just taking this brush and I'm trying to blend this out in my hairline. I'm wondering, is this just the match between the foundation color and this, and that's what it looks like? It doesn't look bad. On screen, it looks different than what I'm seeing in the mirror. but it's still running cooler than what I was expecting it to be. I really was expecting to get this color because they don't look the same to me. It looks like I went into this one, but I definitely went into this one. So let me pick up some more and go on this side. So again, I start from my trachea and then just go to where my eye starts. Why does it look different on this side? Or is that just me? Is this me? These look like two totally different bronzers to me. And it's the same color. So I'm literally just buffing this into the skin. Let me get my handheld mirror here. It definitely looks warmer in person than it is on camera than what it's pulling. But I'm not mad about what it looks like, if that makes sense. I'm just gonna go ahead and contour my nose a little bit while I'm here. With the edge of the brush. Give myself a little pout here. And I'm just gonna take whatever's left on the brush and just rub it around my jawline here to make me look a little bit smaller around here. So yeah, this is definitely one of those things. Once I finish doing my makeup, I'm going to insert a picture so you guys can see what it looks like in person, because I don't feel like the lighting that I have right now is doing any justice. Let me turn it down some. Turn the light down some. Maybe that'll be better. No, it still looks very cool to me on my skin. And I do feel like it looks different on this side than it does on this side. Is that just me? It looks like two different bronzers to me. Maybe my eyes are playing tricks. I do wear glasses, but I'm gonna turn the lighting back up. Let me put a little bit more on. I feel like I need to stop while I'm ahead, but what I will say, the ease of use of this product is amazing, in the sense, like, when you put it on, you really can just tap it in and blend it out. It's very, very easy to use. And you can control how much you're putting on and putting off, like how much you're putting, excuse me, of the product on. I actually like that. I actually like that I don't feel like I have a bronzer this color on how it's translating on my skin. And while it's not showing on camera how it's looking on the bottom, I do like what it's doing, because I feel it's giving me more contour vibes than it is bronzer vibes, and I'm okay with that. Like, I do feel like my face has some dimension. Okay, so just be aware of this. I've watched several reviews of people using this product and it looked amazing on them. So this situation that I'm having right now, I'm not mad at it. It's just more so that I had an expectation of what it looked like, and it's not looking like what I expected it to look like, but I like the result that I'm getting. All right, so I did not pick out a blush today. So I have the YSL ones. I've bought all of these while they were on sale. YSL actually had a sale some months ago, and I picked these two up. I have, who is this? 23, and then I have 50, 57 on this side. So 57, 23. And then I got the new colors, which are 12 and 66. So I think this is the honeymoon color, 12. And this is the new fuchsia color, 66. The outfit that I'm wearing today is brown. And so I am going to choose between honeymoon, which is 12. And it's been a while since I got 57, so I don't remember what 57 is. But on the outside of it, you can see it is a nude, well, a peach color. So this is what honeymoon looks like, and then this is what 57 looks like. So let me turn this color down because everything is just looking wild. There we go. Okay, there we go. Peach and honeymoon. Okay, there we go. So let me see. I haven't even worn peach at all. The peach color. Ooh, I'm running out of space here. So this is what the peach color looks like. So that's very light and peachy. I don't think that's gonna do me any justice for today's look I'm going for. So you'll go back in the drawer. And then this is honeymoon, one of the newer colors. So that's what it looks like on my finger. And then I'm just gonna slide right in here. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Yeah, we're gonna go with that color today. I'm going to put this on last because I feel like the color is going to throw me off a little bit with my eyeshadow. And what I've been using the most outside of everything is the Rare Beauty Matte Bouncy Blush in the color Worth. I have been using this since it came out, and I haven't put hardly a dent in this. And when I say I've been using this, I've been using this. I will go out and just put this on. So that's what the color looks like for this. I'm just going to swipe it right here. So it's very similar to the YSL honeymoon color. So let me swipe it a little closer. Let me wipe my finger off, make sure the colors are not blending. How about that? And I'm gonna swipe it again right here. They look almost identical, to be honest. So YSL is right here, and then this is the Rare Beauty one. So swipe in, swipe. And I just pressed harder with this, but they're almost the same color. So if you want a YSL color, if you want the color honeymoon, get the color Worth in Rare Beauty, because Rare Beauty I think is $28 if I'm not mistaken. And I'll put, when I go through and edit, I'll be putting these items up here, and the YSL is double that. It's double whatever Rare Beauty is, let's just say that. So there's so much similar in color. I understand now why I was gravitating to honeymoon so much. But honestly, I just wanted to try the YSL formula. Everybody talked about how much they liked it. I was like, I'm not gonna pay full price for it. I'll just wait till somebody has a sale. And so the YSL website actually had a sale a couple of months ago. I think it was like 20% off or something like that. So I went ahead and got it then. They're cute, they're cool. I like them. They're all right. but I'm not out here skipping and running in the rain to talk about them. Yeah, so take from that what you will. For eyes today, I really want to wear green. In my mind for the last couple of days when I was thinking about what I was going to wear to this concert, like I said, I'm sitting in a movie theater, so nobody's going to see me. So this is really just for me being extra. In my mind, I kept seeing green eyeshadow. Green is my favorite color. And so I really wanted to wear some green eyeshadow. And so I was going through my drawer to see which palettes had green in it. And so I have this Charlotte Tilbury Beautifying Eyes Trends in the Emerald Effect. So this has this green in it here, and then it has this green here. It also has some browns too. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure that you don't get a reflection of the light on the packaging. And you have some browns to ground the look. And then there's also this blue green color. So depending on how you move it, it's like an aquamarine color. So we have that one. And then I have my Danessa Myricks Beauty Lightwork 6 Freedom palette, that when I opened it up, I was like, have I even used this? I bought it, and I do see some fingerprints in here. So I've already used the green in here. So I have used this, and I was like, well, this gives me the green because it's several. So we have this color right here, which I think is Dance, because I don't rearrange the things in there. So I'm gonna say this is Dance, and this is a multi-chrome, and then you have this one, which is Rejoice. So yeah, so there are two greens in this palette, even though on camera this keeps one. There we go. It has a green hue. Like when I'm looking over here, oh, there you go. Can you see it? When you turn it, there we go. It's like green, and then when you flip it, it's peach, and then copper, and bronze, all these colors going on. So there's that color, and then there's this color. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then I did get the YSL Culture Eye palette, 9 shades of brown palette. If you guys know me, I love color. But I'm not gonna lie, this was really a purchase. When I looked at this palette, I just wanted it. I thought it was so pretty. And then when you open it, it's 9 shades of brown, subtract this black down here. So I thought the palette choices were really pretty. I like the colors in here. And this is a palette that I feel like will be my travel palette if I'm going to, depending on where I'm going. I'm still at a loss. Nothing is speaking to me. I am going to swatch these colors in these palettes, and maybe that will let me know what green I want to go with. So the Charlotte Tilbury, like I said, it has this green, and this in the middle is also like a light chartreuse green. So I'm gonna start with that one. Let me wipe off my hands. I just have color and powder everywhere. And let me take a look at what my skin is looking like in the meantime while I've been yapping. I have to say, I'm really impressed with the Rare Beauty side, because for this to be marketed as a soft matte, it truly is giving me soft matte vibes, because there's still vibrancy on this side of my face. It's not completely matte. It's more of like a, I don't want to say a skin finish per se, but I like the way that side of my face looks. I also like the way the side of my face looks too. The luminosity that's there. Can you tell that I have on 2 different foundations? I feel like my face looks a little golden on this side when I turn my face to this side. And this doesn't have that same gold hue. Is that me? Anyway. All right. So this is what the swatch looks like. So I'm going to start here. Oh, that's pretty. And then I'm going to swatch this color here and then that one. Okay. M. Dory, what is it that you have to tell the people, ma'am? What is it that you so desperately want to share with the audience? Okay. This is the color green that I had in my head when I was envisioning colors. Okay. So I'm going to switch over to the Danessa Myricks palette. And I am going... Kumane. I'm going to swatch this color here. So let me swipe that here. Okay, there we go. Finally, a green swatch. Okay, so it's a multi-chrome. I might actually go with this because the jacket, well, the it's not a jacket, but kind of like the sweater that I'm going to wear is brown. It has brown, burgundy, chocolate brown, and green all in it. I might go with that one. I'm gonna swipe this one. Okay, that one shifts blue. Y'all, I'm stressed. I don't know what color I want. I'm usually not this indecisive about colors, but so what I can already tell you is, Charlotte, you're going to go back into the drawer today. Danessa Myricks is going to take the win for this today. I don't know. I actually feel like I have too many options to choose from. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do my base portion right now. I'm going to go into this new YSL, and these don't have names, so let me just get my brushes together. I am going to start out with, I'm going to try this one. I haven't tried this one. I've worn this palette, I think, once before. Oh, that is a glitter shade. Well, that is not what I was expecting it to be. So that's like a bronze shade. Well, it's on my eye now. I'm not taking it off. Yeah. We're already off to a fantastic start. I'm not mad about it. That was a happy little mistake. I really couldn't tell that was a satin. Was that a satin? Yeah, I couldn't tell that was a satin because I didn't use that color the last time I used the palette. So, well, we might only get 2 colors out of this, you guys. And I'm perfectly okay with that. Maybe 3. We'll see how I'm feeling. And this is why you swatch palettes before you use them, so you know what you're working with. I actually quite like that. All right. Do I want to put this under the bottom part of my... No, I'm actually going to use the green as a liner on the bottom of my eye. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, we've decided that. And I am going to go into, let me swatch. So it's either gonna be this one or this one. So let me, that's what that looks like. Let me swatch over here in my inner tear duct, and then I'm gonna swatch this one in the middle. I think that's a little bit, seeing as how we started with this very bronze look, I'm going to go ahead and put this here in my inner tear duct. That's not giving me the impact that I want. So to make them even, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on both sides and then go on. Ooh, eyes don't water. Please don't water. When you get the feeling you should stop while you're ahead, but you know that you're going to make a decision anyway. Yeah. So I'm going to go into this color on top of it just because I want to see. Okay, that's doing nothing for me. Yeah, it's not really doing anything. That's fine. That's good. That's good. Okay. So that's all I'm going to use from this palette. And I'm just wiping off the brush. I'm going to go with this color here. I think that will go nicely with what we already have going on the top. So now I don't remember which color that was. Oh, okay, it was this one. So I'm just going to pick this up on this brush, and I'm going to use that on my lash line down here. Yes. Okay. And now I must put on lashes. That's not an optional choice at this point. But I actually really like this. Nothing over the top, not a whole bunch of colors. Just enough to give me some dimension, give me the green that I wanted. And I'm actually very excited about putting the satin on first. Let me put this in a drawer, because if this falls on the floor, I will be devastated. If something breaks, I will be beside myself. Okay, now, do I want to put on eyeliner? Is there a point of me putting on eyeliner? let's try it. So I bought the new Wonder Skin eyeliner. This got a lot of good reviews. People say that it stays very well in your waterline. I got the brown color, Gold Mocha. I usually don't wear black eyeliner anymore that often because I don't see where it does any justice. But for this to be brown, it's dark enough to look blackish, so I feel like I'm winning. And you guys let me know what you like better. Do you mind if I put a mirror here, or are you okay with me looking down here to do it? I really don't want to have a mirror inside of here, but I need to see. And so I'm literally just going right at my waterline, well, at my lash line, to fill this in, to give me some depth, give me some fullness here. Can you tell a difference? Yeah, you can tell a difference. Yes, you most certainly can tell a difference between this side and that one. Oop, I lost my angle. Ow. Ow, that hurt. Ugh. So for me, I make my line thinner as I get to the inner part of my eye, and I don't do thick eyeliner. I kind of want to do a wing, but I'm gonna stop on my head right now. I'm having too much inspiration at one time. So y'all, I moved to a new place, and so this is what my background looks like for now, but it might be changing over time as I finish moving through stuff and adding stuff and whatnot. So just bear with me. Ugh. The dramatics of all of this. Okay. Do I have a brush where I can? The glitter is falling farther and farther down my face right now. And you know what? I'm actually okay with that. But what I will say, the next time that I do this, I will probably do my eye look first, and then the makeup, my face makeup last. Okay, so I'm going to do lashes. Now, what I am so excited about are these Danessa Myricks Uplifted. No, I lied. I'm so excited about these LYS Uplifted Pre-Glue Beginner Friendly Lash Clusters. So I have used these in the past, and what I will say is these are my favorite lashes at the moment. I like the fact that these are pre-glued, so you put these up under your lash line instead of on top. I have always struggled with doing lash bands, the ones that are a full band of lashes. For me, like, I can never get them close to the lash line, and I'm so excited on the days that I do it. When I put it on clients, I can get it really close, but me personally, I've never been good at putting it very close to my own lash line. So when they started making the lashes where you could stick them under, I was so much better at doing those. But the original ones that I got, I think they were either Kiss or Ordeal, I can't remember. They were uncomfortable under my lashes because I wasn't used to wearing anything under my lash line. With the Danessa with the LYS ones, I cannot feel these up under my lash line at all. When I put these on, they're so easy to put on, but on top of that, they last for days. So I've worn these several times, and a couple of times I have went to sleep because I forgot that I had lashes on, and even after I washed my face, the lashes still stayed in place. And so I went to sleep and woke up, and the next day I remembered I had lashes on, because when I woke up, one of them was coming off, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's on my face? It's a bug on my face. And but everything, all the other ones on the other side, they lasted. And so I did a specific test to sleep in them again on purpose, but I slept pretty, so I wouldn't have a lot of movement. And the next day they were still intact. I wore them for another full day into the third day without them coming off. So they do have some longevity where you can wear them for multiple days if you're, you know, light on how you maneuver around your eye area. I like them so much that I went and got all of these. So my suggestion is, if you want to wear fake lashes but you do not do well at strip lashes, you don't want to deal with glue, these are already pre-glued, so you just pop it out, stick it on, and go on about your business. You don't have to worry about glue or any of that. Go ahead and purchase these. Like I said, right now the Sephora sale is running for 20% off, but LYS has regular sales on their own website. So if you are watching this video and the Sephora sale is not currently going on right now in April 2026, go to the LYS website and purchase them. From my understanding, they do not have all of the types on the Sephora website. They only have 2, and I think there are 5 or 6 different types of these lashes on the LYS, so you can catch them on a deal. I did not buy these from Sephora. I already had these because LYS had a sale on their website. These are, I think, normally $15 a piece, and I got them on sale for like $9 and some change. And I actually have backups. Never in my life have I had a backup of a product except for the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Foundation. That is the only other item that I have a backup of a foundation, and technically that's not a backup, I got a different color. But yes, so I love these. The ones that I have been wearing normally are Louder Than Life. As you can see, like the pack the pack is already over halfway gone. And these are volumizing lashes. And then the ones that I'm going to wear today are, they got mixed up, I dropped them. Hold on. I'm gonna wear Drama Queen today because, like I said, I just will be an extra. That's what these look like. So these will be the first time I'm wearing this particular style, and these are dramatic lashes. And then they have Charisma, which are curl lashes. And then they have Flirtatious. So I actually have 2 of the Flirtatious ones because these are wispy lashes, and wispy lashes are my favorite type of lash to wear. So again, I have 2 of those. And then I have Charismatic, which is a curl lash. And as you can see, I've used some of these too. And sorry if there's a glare on the packaging, I'm trying not to have it. And then I also have Natural Beauty. So like I said, this is the one thing that I can definitely recommend to purchase if you are a person that wants to wear lashes and you are not comfortable with putting them on, or you want to be able to customize your lashes. So a lot of times, like me personally, I have never liked wearing a full strip lash because right here in the front, I really don't have a lot of lashes. So when I wear a full strip of lashes, you can tell that I had them on. So I would cut them. And then also you can customize. So if you just want to add some extra volume on the edge of your lashes, you can. If you're like me, where you don't really have a lot of lashes in the front, you can add some just to balance them out. So you get to customize the look that you want and how much of the lash that you put on. So that's very exciting to me. So with all that being said, so I'm just going to open it. And so what I typically do with these is I will put this on the outer edge, so the last third of my eye, this in the middle third of my eye, and this near the inner inside of my eye. But I do customize it from time to time, so sometimes I will put 2 of these on the edge and then just 1 of these right here in the middle, and then just leave this part open. It just depends on how much time I have to put them on and if I feel like doing all of that. So I am just going to pick up, ooh, these really are dramatic. Now, dramatic lashes are something that I don't know if I've ever worn anything that was described as a dramatic lash before. So we are going to see what this looks like today. So I'm going to get real close so you guys can see me put this on my face in real time, or on my face, on my eye. Just gonna stick it right up under there, like that, and clamp. Boom. I'm already, ooh, that is dramatic. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay, like I said, I've never worn the dramatic version, so these are dramatic. But like I said, I want it to be extra today. But I don't think I'm an extra baddie, y'all. I don't, yeah. And so I went and I got, so you have, the last row is 14 millimeters, the second row is 12 millimeters, and then the third row at the top is 10. So I just put a 14, and then I'm going right beside that, and out. I am going to put this 12. Boom. And I'm just going to slide and clamp. Just like that. Lashes on. And then I'm taking a 10 millimeter and I am going to go, oop, let me move the mirror so you can see. And right beside that one, just stick it and clamp. There we go. So 3 in right now. I think I'm going to put 1 more right here. So I'm taking another 10 millimeter. And let me tilt my head back and just stick that there. And clamp. And so I have a little gap right here in between the two, but I am not worried about that. And so just like that, I'm done. Looks like a full lash. And that took me less than a minute, or at most a minute. So there we go. Dramatic, none, dramatic. And so I'm just gonna do the other side. I don't even have to take time to edit this out because I'm gonna do it in real time. So 14. 12. Well, ten. Woo, so much air. So done just that quick with 3 sections. If you are looking for a dramatic lash, you can definitely get them, because I was curious on how dramatic these were gonna be, and they are curious, they are dramatic. And then the last one, another 10. Boom. Lash is done. So there you go. I probably should have picked another lash, y'all. This is a little bit dramatic for me. And then I'm going to put on, I feel like I need something waterproof. I'm going to use this little travel size of the Come Hella High Water mascara from Cali Ray. I got these with my little Sephora points, and I'm just going to put this on my bottom lash because I like my bottom lashes to look defined and seen. All right. Okay. Boom. All right, we're in the latter part of what we're gonna do today. So I am going to, like I said earlier, I'm going to do Honeymoon as the color that I'm going to do today. And I'm just gonna reuse this brush that I used earlier, the 109 BK Beauty brush. Excuse me. And I'm just going to smile and put this on the apples of my cheeks. And I'm just going to do it lightly because this color is deep, and so I don't want it to get away from me. Because I tend to be heavy-handed with blush, because the Rare Beauty one that I use all the time, you really have to dig into it to get color. With the YSL ones, you don't have to do all that. So I tread very lightly with that. Okay, that's good enough for me because I bought a highlighter. So, and that's what I'm more excited about today. So the Givenchy Prisme Libre highlighter powder, I got 04 or 004 Coral Copper. I have been watching this for a long time, waiting for them to be released in the US. And so this is what the color looks like. It is beautiful. Let me swipe. So that's what it looks like. And I'm going to come in right here. And the reason I like this so much is because the highlighter is not a strong highlighter. It's enough to give me some color on the cheek, but it's not going to be enough to like totally saturate. These are meant to melt into the skin and give you that sun-kissed glow. So how do I not have a highlighter brush out here? I'm upset. Okay, so I'm gonna try this BK Beauty and Nicola Rose in 20 brush, and just to swirl it in here and see if it picks anything up. Oh, it did. It most definitely certainly did. I love that. So right there, it gave me a nice little highlight. Can you see that? put some right here. And I would definitely say, if you're interested in getting this, definitely get this during the Sephora sale. Get 10, 15, or 20% off depending on what your tier is, and it's free to sign up. It's an email. You give them your email address and you become a member and get 10% off during the sale. So I feel like you can definitely see it on my nose more so anywhere than anywhere. I can see it here. I most definitely can see it. And I love the highlight that it gives. It's nothing overly dramatic, but enough just to give me some excitement on my face, as if it isn't enough already going on. And then let me highlight right over my Cupid's bow. I used to do this all the time. I haven't done this in a long time. Okay. All right, what lip color am I going to use today? So I bought 2 of the Pat McGrath Labs lip contours. I think that's what these are called. Lipped Sculpt Plus Shade Contour Duos. I got, what shade is this? I got Nude Dimension and Peach Passion. So let me swatch these. So what I've been hearing on listening to other people's reviews, they've talked about how dry these were on the lips. I haven't worn these, so I can't speak to that. So today we are going to see, but me personally, I prefer glossy lips. So I had always planned to wear a gloss on top of these because I really have to be feeling wearing a matte lipstick before I actually wear one. So these were never intended on my behalf to be worn by themselves. So I will say that up front, but if you are looking for a matte, we shall see. So I will swipe Nude Dimension first on the back of my hand. So this is what the lip liner looks like. Oh, that's dark. Thought that was gonna be a little bit lighter. And then this is what the lipstick side looks like. I'll swipe that. So that's that combo. That's a little bit darker than what I'm going for today. And then I got Peach, what did I say? Peach Passion. So let me, so this is what the lip liner looks like. So that's much lighter. And this is what the lipstick or lip side looks like. Oh, okay. We're going with this one. So let me go ahead and line my lips. So I personally am not a big person on lining my lips, dependent upon what color I'm using. Did I just draw outside my lip because I was talking? I did. I gave myself a whole new lip because I was talking. Anyway, but if I do line my lips, I do try to get lip liner colors that are like this. I don't like extremely dark lip lines. Oh, but that looks really nice. I like that. It's not, it's really soft. Nothing out the ordinary. So a lot of the feedback that I saw people saying online was that it was really drying. So let's see if that's true for the bullet part. Okay, so I can see why they say it is a drier texture. It gives me more the feeling of like a lip pencil, like a jumbo lip pencil that you fill in, more so than like a lipstick bullet type situation. So there's no hydration from this, but there's enough for you to glide over your lips or whatnot. I really like this color. But I was never expecting this to be like hydrating from the beginning. To me, anytime you get a lipstick bullet is not necessarily hydrating. Some do go on more smoothly and leave like a silk finish, but it's not necessarily hydrating. So I wasn't expecting that from this product, but I actually really like it. I like the convenience of this product. Now this would be a color that I would put a lip liner on, just because this color is a nude and I want it to be seen. So I like it. I have no issues with it. I'm not expecting it to give hydration, but like I said, for me, I was always planning on putting a lip gloss on top of it anyway. I'm just trying to find the lip gloss at this point. So I'm just going to take this Patrick Ta. I got this as a free sample with one of my orders from the website. What is this? Oh no, this is plumping. I haven't used it, so I didn't know this was plumping. Like I said, it was free with the purchase. I have never used plumping before, and I don't think I'm about to find out today. So who we gonna talk to Miss Good Old Riri and put Fussy? I have a little mini one, and wait a minute. Why do I feel like I have something better? I am actually going to use this cream from Fenty Beauty. We staying in the Fenty family. The majority of all my lip products are all Fenty. So I'm going to use Honey Waffles in the Fenty Beauty cream formula and put over this. I was trying to find something peachy to put over this, but alas, I don't have anything peachy, so this is just gonna have to work. All right, this is the final look. Ooh, it's 2:37. I gotta start getting ready. Okay, and I'm going to lock all of this in with the Danessa Myricks setting spray. What is this? The liquid blurring balm powder. So I'm just gonna shake this up. Ooh, that's loud. Probably should have waited for that to dry down before I open my eyes, but I'm gonna take my same little sponge that I used before and press everything in. So that is today's look. I will be back with my outfit on for the concert in a little bit. All right, so this is the finished look. I've done my hair and everything. So what do you guys think? I think it comes together after I have my hair down, accessories on, and everything like that. I think it looks really nice. And I think it goes with my jacket. Oh, it was turquoise in here, not green. Well, we got green on today, and I'm happy about it. So, yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think the lashes and everything don't look as dramatic to me with my hair down and mixed in with everything else. I can't tell that I have on two different foundations, to be honest, and that they were two distinctly different colors. I think now, because I don't have on a high top tank top anymore, You can definitely see that the color match is a little bit lighter than the rest of my body. This side I feel like is a better blend than this side. It's a stark difference on this side, but that's okay. Again, I really don't think anybody's going to be paying that close attention to me in general about whether or not my foundation is matching the rest of my body that much. But I am very excited about it. The eyeshadow, I think, turned out very, very nice. The lashes to me are not as dramatic against the backdrop of my hair, so that makes me feel a lot better about it. But I'm also glad that I do have the option to have dramatic looking lashes this quickly and effortlessly if I want them to. The blush, I'm very happy with how light-handed I went with it because it's showing up. I feel like the face looks very put together holistically because the eyes are, even though they pop their muted colors, so the citrine or the green on the bottom, because it shifts, it doesn't completely stay green, it does shift, it matches the eyeshadow on top of my lid. And the blush, I feel like, complements that, so it's not heavily applied. The lip, now the one thing I am noticing is I am getting this little ring around my lip. I generally don't have that when I wear the Fenty gloss bombs by themselves, whether it's the glossy version, the cream version, whatever version. So I'm going to attribute that to the Pat McGrath layer base, the lip product that goes with that. But I'm okay with that because I can just wipe that away. But that is something to notice. So overall, I think everything came together. I think the look looks cohesive. I'm glad that after the color settling in, everything looks put together and that you can't tell that I have on a different foundation, a different concealer. Checking in on the concealer here. So, you know, I was saying I have these little particles from the concealer. I see one on this side, and this was the Charlotte Tilbury side. So this really could be attributed to the primer, the Kofi primer, because I've not seen anybody else who have reviewed these concealers have that issue, and it is very, very minor at this point in reference to it. So I'm going to attribute that to the primer and not the concealer itself, but I will come back and keep using those concealers and give you an update on what they're looking like. I don't plan on buying any more new concealers. If I do show any different concealers going forward, it's going to be concealers that I already have. I don't foresee myself honestly buying any more makeup for a long period of time at this point. But yeah, this is the final look. Thank you. All right, so I am back, everybody. I went to the concert and I have returned. It is now 7:29 going into 7:30, and I've had both of these foundations on since 1 o'clock ish. So that's been at least 6 hours of wear time, and I haven't touched up at all. So before I took all of this stuff off, I wanted to come in and let you guys see how all of this makeup wore today. So let me come in a little closer. And so this is the Rare Beauty. This is the Rare Beauty in Charlotte Tilbury. So Rare Beauty foundation, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury concealer side, and then this side is the Mary Phillips, the MPH foundation, and the Patrick Ta concealer. So, in coming in close, you can definitely see that there's more shine on this side, but that's to be expected because this side already had natural luminosity. But I still feel like everything wore well. Everything is there. I did lose some coverage here. You can see right there, some foundation and concealer is missing on both sides. I wear glasses, so I had glasses on during the concert. But outside of that, everything is pretty much still in place. I think it wore really well. The blush stayed. My highlight is still there. I feel like I have lost some coverage down here some, but I think part of that is probably my earring, because when I was sitting like this, my earring kept rubbing right in this space, but it's still not completely gone. On this side, I really haven't lost any coverage, I don't feel like. There is some luminosity on this side, but you can definitely tell a difference if we're looking right here on the MPH side. And, well, I don't know. No, actually, I don't know. Well, maybe I feel like I have a little bit more oil right here than I do on this side. Let me turn the lights down because my mirror's in the way. Okay. Is that better? Yeah, in this area, it looks like I have a good amount of oil, even for both sides, but I still feel like it's a little shinier on this side than it is on this one. My nose is oily, it looks like on both sides. But I still feel like on this side of the face is overall not as shiny. I feel like you can definitely tell. Oh, it wore right in there. But definitely right in this space, I definitely feel like it's more matte on this side than it is on that one. Yeah, you can tell. It's some oils breaking through, but there's definitely shine there. So that's just something to be aware of with the foundations. You'll definitely get some oil control with this one. It won't be as oily throughout the day, but for me personally, either one of these are fine for 6 hours of wear, because on a regular day, I don't wear my foundation for more than, I would say, 10 hours. Because if I wear foundation to work, it's the time, maybe like an hour before I actually get to work wearing it. I'm at work 8 hours and then an hour to get back home. So that's roughly about 10 hours or so. And so I feel like both of these, this is how I would look after 10 hours. I don't feel like there's going to be too much of a difference. And I was just sitting in a freezing movie theater, so I wasn't doing anything strenuous whatsoever. So that probably will also give you a good idea of how these wear, because if I was outside sweating or doing something more, I definitely would have more sweat going through the makeup. So, but I think it looks pretty good. I think it wore well. Do I have a towel? Okay, I'm just gonna take this one that I had earlier and just, nothing really came off too much. Ignore that I had some alcohol on this. I was cleaning my earrings, but that took it down pretty good. This is the back of it, so I'm using this side here. And nothing's really coming off. A little bit right here when I went where my nose is right there, but overall, I'd be fine with this. So this is a 6-hour-ish wear test for everything that I have on my face. Also here, so this is what's left over from the Pat McGrath lip contour pencil. So all I had at the movie theater was popcorn, and something to drink. So I didn't really eat anything, but like I said, I did see this little ring coming in before I left. So that's just something to be aware of. But the lip liner stayed in place. Long lasting. It's still there around the top part of my lip as well. So, and even you can still see the color still left over. It's not, you know, super visible, but I would say it is a quite long lasting product. And remember, I did put some Fenty gloss on top of it, so the Fenty gloss obviously has worn off, but the base product itself is still there, so I'm pleased with it. Like I said, this little line here, if that's something that's going to annoy you, then so be it. You can tell my lips are a bit dry. Yep, but like I said, I'll put some gloss on this and be fine. So that is all for today's video. I did take a picture in sunlight in the car, so I will post that so you can see what this looked like in daylight, if you're interested in it. So I think it wore well, everything looked good, and I'm pleased with the wear on this. So thank you guys for joining me, and I look forward to sharing more videos with you guys. And thank you all for sticking with me or coming back to look at me after I've been gone for a bit of a hiatus. So I think my last video was in 2020, and I've just been working doing some changes in my career, moving and things of that nature. So I have more time now. I took a role that is less demanding than what my previous role was, so I do have more time to be able to film for YouTube now, and I want to take advantage of that free time and do something that I really enjoy on the outside of work. So thank you guys for watching, and until the next video, bye.